ladies and gentlemen, to the final episode of Legtv for the 2024 fantasy football season. It's 2025. Happy New Year to you. It is the Commissioner John David Brake trying to catch his breath from an amazing finish to this year where it was as competitive as ever. So many good teams, a couple bad ones, and Mick is getting that Hoff award, and I'll have video of that coming soon. But we just had a heavyweight slugfest for a fantasy football LEG championship, one of the highest scoring championship games of all time in all 16 seasons of this league. And let's go see the highlights and the result. It was the final matchup. It was the number 1 overall seed. Pokemon Gotta Catch 'Em All taking on the number 3 seed, Joe Murdoch. One of the hottest teams in the league got hot really quick there and tore through the playoffs. Had to play that extra round to get here, so he won more playoff games than anyone else so far. And boy, it did not disappoint, and it all started on Christmas. Merry Christmas, Derrick Henry. Yes, and Derrick Henry owners. He started off strong against the Houston Texans, scoring a touchdown and getting some yards there. He was an instrumental part to this win, got the game going early. Look at these big runs from Derrick Henry, who was the number 2 running back all year long. But we also had the Bengals that night. That's right, we had the Bengals-Denver game for Joe at Cortland Sutton, who also had a pretty decent night, putting up a touchdown reception there that would keep him in the hunt, at least for now. Even though on Wednesday, George Pickens in the wide receiver 2 slot really didn't do much for Pokemon Gotta Catch 'Em All, Cortland Sutton definitely did, as Joe had Adam Thielen and Cortland Sutton there. There's the touchdown pass. Now, I did have Pokemon had Chase Brown. Did not perform to projections, just underneath. He did have some decent runs, no touchdowns. But here in one of the final games of regulation, instead of going for a touchdown, he slides. He could have had a touchdown there, and this made it 22-54 on Saturday to end the Saturday night games. Pokemon still holding the league. Now, here's the big game that happened Sunday early. It was Panthers-Bucks. Baker Mayfield with a touchdown pass. But look at this. Adam Thielen for Joe Murdoch could not be stopped. Adam Thielen was a man on fire here. Adam Thielen had 2 touchdown receptions. There's the first one that happened there in the first quarter early on, giving Joe very good projections to stay ahead. But Baker Mayfield, my goodness, he came to play. This was 2 touchdowns so far in the first half, and he threw 3 more. But here's the second Adam Thielen touchdown. It was at this point on Sunday that Joe was projecting to beat Pokemon's Gotta Catch 'Em All. But Baker Mayfield wasn't done. This is his 3rd touchdown pass of the day, and 2 of those touchdown passes came to McMillan. This is actually the 5th one right here. McMillan, who was on the bench, who I wanted to start over George Pickens. And then we got over here to the Buffalo Bills game. Josh Allen is Joe's quarterback there. The Bills had a big game against the Jets. Now, Josh Allen was one of my factors to win for Joe, but in fact, he kind of just had right at the projection there. He threw a couple touchdowns and ran for one. Look at this play here. This counted as a touchdown pass for Joe, and this kept him in the hunt during the Sunday morning early games there. That was an incredible pass to Shivers there on a screen. That did count for a passing touchdown for Josh Allen, keeping the insane ground posse alive. And here was my key for him to win, Jonathan Taylor. Oh, what a terrible game for the Colts, but Jonathan Taylor had him a game. He scored 2 rushing touchdowns for Joe. This is the 2nd one on the day, which gave him an amazing output. Over-projecting for Joe, keeping it close with Saquon Barkley on the horizon. And speaking of Saquon, had himself a day going over 100 yards. No touchdowns, though. He did not have any touchdowns, but he kept it close and kept the lead. And to cap off the Sunday early games, Pukamon had Brock Bowers and jumped out to a 189-140 lead during the early games and would not have another player until Monday night. But Joe had Josh Jacobs, who only scored that one touchdown. And we moved to the Sunday night game. Josh Jacobs did not do well, but my goodness, Zach Ertz was a man possessed. What a play by Joe to sub out Jonnu Smith at the tight end spot for Zach Ertz. That was a pivotal moment here as, again, Sunday night football happened and Joe's projections were coming closer and closer to eclipsing Pukamon's Gotta Catch 'Em All. This was a touchdown in the first half from Zach Ertz, and he was not finished. The Atlanta Falcons miss a field goal to win the game at the end of regulation and sent it into overtime, and this was the walk-off to, you guessed it, Zach Ertz. 2 touchdowns on the day, which brought it to 175-189. Going into Monday night, it was Amon-Ra St. Brown versus Debo and Fred Warner. And look at this, it started out great for Joe. Debo Samuel gets a touchdown, making it ever closer. But you know what? Fred Warner was not that impressive that day, and this was pretty much all Debo did. And it all came down. Could Pukamon seal it with an Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown? That's all he needed to be able to walk away the championship, and there he does it. Amon-Ra St. Brown getting 20 points for Pukamon's Gotta Catch 'Em All, and this came later in the third quarter, and it couldn't have happened at a more crucial time as he scores the touchdown, and this would seal it as the 49ers attempted an onside kick to try to get another possession, but they did not recover. There, the cameraman just bumped Jared Goff for some reason, and that was it. 208-189. Pukamon Gotta Catch 'Em All. There's the locker room celebration for Pukamon, and we're going to cut to more of that there in a second. It is the first victory in over 11 years for Pukamon Gotta Catch 'Em All and owner myself. And it couldn't have happened at a better time. Long overdue, a huge gap between championships. One of the oldest teams in the LEG since its inception in 2009 finally joins that elite club of multi-championship squads with Dan Nickel, Austin Stoll, and Abalash Reddy. That is 6 championship appearances and 2 wins. Still not a great, percentage batting average there. But still, Pukamon gets the win, and there was much celebration to be had. And we're going to cut live to the celebration in the locker room for Pukamon Catch 'Em All. Let's go over to JD in the locker room. Thanks, JD. I am here live with the winning general manager, Mr. John David Brake. How does it feel to finally get that win after 11 long seasons?
Yeah, nice microphone, loser. It was, wow, what a feeling after 11 long years. It's been a ride. So many great teams that just couldn't close it out, and this team was just by far one of the greatest since the championship team that won like 22 games in a row. It's been a long time coming. It feels good. I really wanted to get this win, and man, Derrick Henry got us going great early on with an amazing game. What a pickup he was. A lot of people said he was washed. What a great fit. Saquon, of course, he didn't score a touchdown, but still chasing Dickerson's record. Just a great overall season for him. Having the 1-2 and the running back really helped this year. In the season where running backs dominated, Jalen Hurts, Amon-Ra St. Brown, man, he was huge on that Monday night, really closing it out and getting us the win. It was so close. Hats off to Joe. He just had such a good team. It got really hot, as he always does. He's always a competitor, and I just can't imagine a better opponent to play and finally get that second championship for myself. Yeah, amazing game, and especially amazing performance from Baker Mayfield. How did it feel to give him the start? What was going through your mind giving Baker Mayfield the go-ahead at the quarterback spot? Yeah, oh my gosh, Baker was just unbelievable. So many times I wanted to start him. I mean, he finished ahead of Jalen in the season for point total. definitely earned that MVP award. He was our MVP. I mean, anytime you throw 5 touchdowns, 50 fantasy points, I mean, we needed every bit of that to stay ahead of Joe's solid team. And, man, he just had an axe to grind against Carolina. He's just an amazing performance. I can't say enough good things about him. And just what a time to shine. He was our guy that brought us the victory. Amon-Ra closed it out for us. And the defense was great, too, all year round, being one of the highest scoring teams of all time. Just Baker was awesome. I'm so glad we got him. Like, our last offensive player picked in the LEG was Baker Mayfield, and boy, that was a value pick. Any validation for finally getting over the hump? Is there plans to try to win it again? How many championships do you want to win this next season? Yeah, it's going to be hard to draft another team like that. I mean, I want my name on that trophy as much as possible. Most importantly, you know, I want this league to be fun and competitive. And it's just, I was overdue. I mean, it's been 11 years. And the all-time, winningest franchise, only having one trophy to show for it. But this league is so competitive. There's so many good players out there. We have some multiple Hoffa winners, but they've also won championships too, or been in the running for it. Believe it or not, Nick Shook had a third-place team one year. So I think he'll bounce back. But man, this league is so competitive. And I can't wait for the draft to see what happens next year. There you go. Well, I'll let you celebrate, and I'll kick it back to you in the studio, all right. JD. Live from the locker room of Pukamon Got to catch it all, the 2024 LEG Fantasy Football Champions.
What an unbelievable finish to the season after losing last year's championship to Dave Plow, coming back and winning again. This is second year in a row where a championship team lost previously in the previous year's championship and ended up winning it, as Dave Plow lost to Joe, then came back and won it. I lost to Plow and then came back and won it against Joe. As you can see, a recurring theme here is Joe Murdoch. Very, very good. Hats off to him for an incredible season. He's already got his $120, and we could not be more thankful for a great member of this league and so many others. And just want to thank every single one of you for another amazing season. You know, I keep saying over and over again, I want this league to be fun for as long as humanly possible, which a bunch of random people bunched together that love football and stay engaged, love to talk trash, and just love fantasy football. And it is an absolute pleasure to be your commissioner. And I am obviously on cloud nine, finally getting that win. Woo! What an amazing year. 2025 looks to be hopefully even better, although things aren't starting out great with some things going on. But nonetheless, many of you, I wish you a very happy new year. And I cannot wait for the 2025 draft, date to be determined, as soon as I clear it with Nick's wife before she yells at me for scheduling it over his son's birthday. So again, thank you for a wonderful season. Thank you for tuning in to this silly little show that I do to make this league different than any other football league out there. Keep you guys engaged, keep you entertained, keep you happy, and keep you playing. It is my pleasure, your commissioner, John David Brake, signing off. We will see you next time when I bring you a quick snippet of Mick getting the Hoffa. That should be a lot of fun. God bless everyone. Good night. And we'll see you at the draft. Stay tuned for dates to be announced on the Facebook page.